Alright, today I'll be discussing the Necronomicon. The name loosely translates to the image of the law of the dead. Wikipedia describes the Necronomicon as a fictional grimoire appearing in the stories by H.P. Lovecraft. So let me give you a little background on H.P. Lovecraft. He was not an occultist or a practicing magician. All his stories came from a series of dreams he had. Now what makes this more interesting I should say, is that all these characters and all these stories, they were continuations from dreams he had every night. So it's like he would have one dream, and wherever he would leave off at, he would continue exactly at that point the next day. And that's highly unlikely for anybody who's ever dreamt. I mean, our dreams are pretty random. So this was obviously some channel information. But since he wasn't into occultism or practicing magic and none of that stuff, he actually made all his works public domain. He had no interest in considering himself a channeler, since that wasn't his thing. He wasn't trying to be a medium. It just happened to him. Amongst other things that the work contains, it also contains an account of these beings called the Old Ones, their history, and the means for summoning them. The Old Ones are a group of primordial, which means original, beings, sometimes called the elder things. These are actually talking about you. So when you look at the Kabbalah, Tree of Life, that's the first Sephirah. That's Ketha. That's where we really are, the first three Sephirahs. So that's the real you. When we drop down here into the physical form or fall into skin, we wasn't born into sin. We was born into skin. We separated ourselves from that, or we think we are separated from that. Okay, so this is what this is about. So a little bit more stuff. So in some of his stories, he talked about the older beings, sometimes called the elder things. They created a slave race. So this could be the non-melanated people who are born with calcified pineal glands. All right, so they created, which is the old ones or the elder things, which I said is us, created a slave race called the Shoggoths that almost but destroyed the older ones or the elders. Sound familiar? Okay, so basically in the real world, the original man ended up becoming enslaved by a race of beings that we created. So that's another story on so let me refer to the board now. Alright, so these are the 7. I'm not going to go too much into the Necronomicon. You can study on your own, but these are the 7 main characters. You can look it up on Wikipedia. These are the 7 main characters you might want to, if you do get into, once in a while I'll show you different techniques for magic in some of my magic videos. If you want to get into different energies, because remember, they're all you, so don't be afraid of how they make stuff so negative and how the religious folk tell you not to practice magic. And once I do my video on Solomon, because they're giving him a bad name. But so that's for the future. But let me define some things for you. A grimoire. The word grimoire is a magician's manual for invoking demons. That's why they call this grimoire, but they said fictional. The reason why I put quotation marks on fictional, because I told you it's basically channeled information. You're not going to have continuous dreams like that back to back. What you want to always look up, I told you, always type in words and put the word etymology on it if you're on the internet, and then it'll give you the background of what that word is. The grimoire is the same word as glamour. So for my True Blood fans, one of my favorite shows, you always hear about vampires glamoring them. What they do in the allegory of True Blood, when they glamour, the vampires basically erasing their memory by looking at them. But in reality, the word glamour, Grim, because they got another TV show called Grim, or the Grim Reaper. You heard the Grim Reaper? It's basically death. But it all means grammar. So you need to learn how to use words. In the beginning was the word. So that's what magic is all about, spelling. The word glamour means to spell or enchant. Grammar means to write words, or grammar is how you talk and how you speak. We've forgotten how to use words to spell. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God. So that's the Bible. So, and remember, don't get afraid of this word demons. That means your genes or your DNA or your genes. So I encourage you to look at all my videos if this is your first one before you get turned off. Try to double back and get all the information. Try to watch all the videos, because all of them tie in. Alright. So just look up the word glamour and etymology of glamour. You'll see it means, originally it means grammar. So we all went to grammar school. but they didn't teach us the different word. They not teaching us how to really spell. They don't want us spelling, especially if you have a lot of melanin, because we're more powerful. We can access these energies and become these energies and not worship these. The point of magic is not to worship these energies, it's to become these energies, because they're our abilities. Alright, so later on that for, like I said, the magic videos. Alright, so I also told you that most of the writers of horror movies, anywhere from Freddy Krueger, all these characters are based on some form of H.P. Lovecraft's work. So one of the people I want to point out is Friday the 13th, Jason. The name Jason is really a derivative of the word Joshua, or which later became Jesus. It was really Yeshua. In the Greek form, in Greek it means healer. In Hebrew it means Lord is my salvation, or simply Savior. So Joshua, Jesus, Yeshua, or Yehoshua, and Jason is all the same word. But if you actually look at the word, the English breakdown of it is Jah and Son. So you might have heard of Rastafarian saying, oh, Jah. So basically you got three gods. You can go to the Egyptian god Ra, which is just really Re, or the sun god. It's just a deity. We're not supposed to worship entities. But anyway, and then you got Yah in Hebrew, and then you got Jah for Rastafarian. So Jah, Son, is really the Son of God. So it's the same word. So in the movie, the story goes, in the original, the first one, because the writers and producers didn't continue for the rest of them. But originally, Jason was already dead. He had got drowned in Camp Crystal Lake. So the Camp Crystal Lake is basically your head. The crystal is your pineal gland. So this is your skull. The crystal is your pineal gland. The lake is basically all the water and the waves. You know, your brain looks like a whole bunch of brain waves, wrinkles or whatever have you. So so in the Bible, the Camp Crystal Lake would be Golgotha, or the Calvary, or the place of the skull where Christ. Remember, Christ means crystal. Where Christ was crucified at. So instead of being crucified, instead of Jesus, the Son of God, being crucified or crossed or crystallized in the skull of Golgotha, it was Jason, the Son of God, who drowned in the skull. So it's the same thing. So all through the movie, his mother, or mater, like alma mater means matter or material world. So in the physical world, when you get out the spiritual head of yourself, in the physical world, his mother was possessed by the Son of God. Because all through the movie, Kill Them Mommy was, if you got to look at the old movie, or you can just go on Wikipedia, you can see the plot of any movie. It'll tell you word for word. But basically, throughout the movie, she was the one that was avenging her son's death 22 years later, after he drowned. But he was actually possessing her. So what happened is that the Son of God is all, Christ is, all of us can become Christ. It's inside our head. And we just got to learn how to use our pineal gland. It's trapped inside, it's either drowning or being crucified in Golgotha, but we can resurrect this energy again and tap into these different deities, so on and so forth. But we're trapped in this, in our mother or material world, which is the 10th Malkuth, or the material world, on the Kabbalah tree of life. So in the end, she ended up getting decapitated, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I want to point out about the story. I think that's it. Okay, so yeah, just to summarize, you want to look up the etymology of grimoire and learn these words and what they really mean. The definition may be one thing, a magician's manual for invoking demons, but the actual word can mean just really just spelling. That's all you're doing with magic. You're putting spells on people. They made it so negative in movies and different things to stop the most powerful people from using their own magic, and they use it all the time. Alright, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed.